We're going to start this forecast with something kind of wild. Look at this sunrise this morning. Beautiful, bright colors in the sky, despite the clouds. And that leads into my favorite weather saying. It actually rings true. Red sky in morning, sailors heed warning. Red sky at night, sailors delight. Why is that the case? What is the science behind that? Because it does play into our forecast today. Well, generally speaking, remember, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And most of our weather here in the U.S. moves from west to east, at least in the general direction. When you have the active weather, the cloud cover coming from the west and the sunrise coming from the east, the reflection and refraction of the light creates those beautiful colors in the sky. But it does mean that active weather is on the way. And obviously, you can see here on satellite and radar, that's exactly what we're getting as our line of showers and storms moves in. That first bit of rain just starting to cross the state line into the ocean state this morning. So heads up if you live in areas like, let's say, Burrillville, for example, Foster, Gloucester, as we head down toward Richmond, Hope Valley. We're starting to see those raindrops, but the heaviest stuff still on the way, as you can see here on satellite and radar. We're just getting into it right now. I actually think, unfortunately for timing, the worst of it is during the morning commute and just thereafter before this tapers off later. What are we expecting? Well, we've gone over the heavy rain. An inch or more possible could lead to some ponding issues on the roads. Gusty winds 30 miles per hour or greater, even 35 or greater in spots too. And some thunder and lightning as we get into the mid-morning as well as this front passes through, driving the showers and storms our way. It's already quite windy out ahead of this line. You can see the gusts into the 20s and 30s. It's been pretty persistent like this the entire morning, and unfortunately just going to get more uncomfortable before it eases up later. Let's go through it here on Futurecast, and you can see as we get through that mid to late morning, we see a little intensity in terms of this line, a little more juice as we head into the later morning. So 8, 9, 10 o'clock, I expect things to get a little heavier as this line pushes off toward areas of the South Shore and off into the Atlantic by the time we get to the afternoon. That's the best news of all of this. Yes, it's going to make the morning uncomfortable. Leave extra time for that commute. However, it is going to be in and out relatively quickly, so it's not like we have an all-day soaker. You can see by the time we get to the mid and the late afternoon and even the early evening, things ease up quite a bit. Now, the other big change you'll notice is the temperatures throughout the day. Wow, what a difference from yesterday morning to this morning. Some places, not just double-digit differences, but we're talking 20 degrees or more in terms of that temperature change. Like in Taunton, it's 24 degrees warmer than it was at this time yesterday. That's a massive change. Temperatures right now higher than the average high for this time of year. So you're going to feel a little bit more like a summer morning as you step out the door. It's that pre-storm feel. I talk about this once in a while. When it is going to storm outside, you can really feel it in the air. But here's the thing. After the storms come through, after the front's gone, the air behind it is cool. It's dry. So look at the temperatures fall as we get into the afternoon. It's like an upside down day. We go from warm to cool instead of cool to warm. Keep that in mind as you get into the afternoon, as most of us top out between about 57 and 61 degrees in the second half of the day. It's not like you get to shed the layers later on. Now, this is not the only rain chance we have this week. We are looking out for another area of rain coming through on Wednesday. That could bring us some showers and even pockets of heavy rain as well. We're going to keep an eye on that as we move through the week. But I will say, despite the unsettled pattern, the second half of the week does look a lot easier going. Temperatures, though, falling back below average into the upper 50s Friday.